Okay. Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to our course, Poetry. And today we're going to talk about the one of the another poem or another sonnet for William Shakespeare, Devouring Time, Land, Thou Lions, Pow. Actually, we already talked about Sonnet 19 for William Shakespeare, and today we are going to talk about Sonnet 19 for the same writer, William Shakespeare, as one of the most established and well-known writers during the Elizabethan age. We've already talked about one of the sonnets for William Shakespeare, which is Sonnet 18, and I'd like to do some small recap about the sonnet, which is mainly it was talking about the passion and the love of the speaker, William Shakespeare, to his beloved. In the previous sonnet starts or in Sonnet 18, William Shakespeare used to or started his poem by talking about the summer's days and how the summer's days are inconsistent and started to talk about the demerits and the disadvantages of the summer. Talking about it is so hot, it's non-stable, it is not constant, an idea that is not usual at that time. And in the very beginning of the Sonnet 18, the ideas were shocking for what was William Shakespeare willing to address. After that, we discover that William Shakespeare, in his Sonnet 18, was trying to make a comparison between summer's days and his beloved. Frankly speaking and directly speaking, that like William Shakespeare succeeded in making a comparison between summer's days and his beloved, and with providing an advantage or several advantages for his beloved in order to immortalize him. At that time, summer's days were not stable. His beloved was stable. At the time, summer's days were not lasting. His beloved is lasting, and the beauty of his beloved was perceived at that point. In Sonnet 18 was perceived as lasting and stable. The most important point here is the most important point that that Sonnet 18 ends up with is the idea of immortalization, where William Shakespeare attempts to immortalize his beloved. And William Shakespeare succeeded in a way or another in immortalizing his beloved through the through the lines and poems and sonnets he is writing about his beloved. Directly speaking, he's in a way or another, as long as we're reading such a sonnet, we keep remembering his beloved. Now we have a different poem or a different sonnet for William Shakespeare, Sonnet 18, Devouring Time, Blunt Through Thou the Lion's Pow, where we might have similar ideas, we might have variations, we might have similarities. Mainly, the poem is dedicated to his beloved, the same person he was talking to in Sonnet 18. William Shakespeare is talking about the same person in Sonnet 19. And we're going to see how William Shakespeare succeeded or didn't succeed in maintaining or expressing his feelings to his beloved. Now, we are going to start with a quick recitation for the poem uh, that might give us some insights about the rhyme, the rhythm, the meter in the original language. Sorry, it's not working. Just 1 second. Where's the problem here?
Sonnet 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleet'st, and do whate'er thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one most heinous crime. O carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow, for beauty's pattern to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst, old time, despite thy wrong. My love shall in my verse ever live young. Sonnet 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Make glad and sorry seasons as thou fleet'st, and do whate'er thou wilt, swift-footed time, to the wide world and all her fading sweets. But I forbid thee one most heinous crime. O carve not with thy hours my love's fair brow, nor draw no lines there with thine antique pen. Him in thy course untainted do allow, for beauty's pattern to succeeding men. Yet do thy worst, old time, despite thy wrong. My love shall in my verse ever live young.
Okay, now we already have now general idea about the poem. We have already listened to the poem in the original text, medieval language text, which is somehow easier than, as we talked before, easier than the old language. We can understand it. We have some differences, but in a way or another, we can understand it. To start with the poem, in the left part, you can see the poem in the original language, and in the right part, you can see the translated form of the poem. First of all, when we talk about the music the layout of the poem of the this literary text, we can say that it is a poem based on the layout and the shape and all the form the poem takes. First of all, we can say that the poem takes the form of disconnected, unconnected line. It's not a paragraph. It's not an essay. Okay, it's not a novel. It's not prose. So the shape and the line and the way such lines are structured, and we can, from the layout, we can say that this is a poem. The second point here is that the when we talk about poetry, we must talk about the musicality of the poetry, because as we've already said that the most important and distinctive feature from that of all poetry that distinguishes it from other literary forms, is the musicality of the poem itself. Now, when we talk about the musicality, we're going to talk about the meter, or the iambic pentameter, that William Shakespeare uses in his poetry, and the rhyme scheme for the poem. First of all, when we talk about the rhyme scheme, which is less problematic in this sonnet, we can see if we do not know that this sonnet is written by William Shakespeare, and we know this is a sonnet, we can say that this is a Shakespearean sonnet. How can we say that? Basically by tracing the rhyme scheme of the poem, which goes A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, and finally G G. By applying that, we can see that A is seen in pause, for example. Then this is A, then boat, B, Joes. We're going back to the same A here. Sorry, let me give it another color here. Okay, and then we can go to B again. Okay, we can go to B again. So we have A, B, A, B. This is the first. Okay, we can see here that the poem or the sonnet goes A, B, A, B, which is the first four lines are the first quatrain in this sonnet. Then we have another rhyme scheme here. Here we have first, which can be start. You have the choice to start another rhyme scheme for the second quatrain A B A B, or you can complete A B C. Okay, and let's go take it like C, feast, time, m. Okay, this is another rhyme scheme. Twist again, just as feast, ending in the same sound. Again, and time and prime. This is the second quatrain. Okay, and if we want to trace that, we can say A B A B C D C D, or A B A B as the first quatrain, or A B A B in the second quatrain. Then when we move to the third quatrain, we can see brow, ow, then pen, another one. Then we go back to ow, allow. Then we go back to men, as in pen, pen, and men. Then dressing back this again, A, B, A, B. We can go A, B, A, B again in the second stanza, or A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F. And finally, the couplet, wrong and wrong. We have wrong here and young in the same ending in the same rhyme. So this is the rhyme scheme. If from just tracing the rhyme scheme of the poem, we can tell that this is a Shakespearean sonnet, because usually William Shakespeare, when he writes his sonnets, he traces his sonnets to you, he writes his sonnets to you following or using such a rhyme scheme. So using or following such a rhyme scheme, which is A B A B C D C D E F E F and finally G G, and each four lines are consisting or constructing or forming a quatrain, and the final two lines construct, form, or make the quatrain. Now, when we move to the meter, usually we can say that